Looking for some time. Looks like it's over here. Let's get the show going, shall we? Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Marquis Saint. And every morning I get up and I'm blessed to be alive. Hell, even my faux hawk is up this morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to wear my fucking, what's it called when I do this thing? Wear my, I have a skull cap that I invented for Saints Addiction. And here it's in my pocket. For $10, I'll make you one with my little logo on it, and it fits over your head. But it made mine faux hawk this morning, so I was like, go with it. I'm gonna go with it. This morning motivation. I can breathe a little bit. Got my weights, ready to go. Feeling great. And this morning we're gonna talk about that little something missing to unlock your mission, so you can grow to fruition. Don't be wishing, just work. And now we'll have this conversation without the twerk. So look at here. Pretty simple stuff for you to be the type of person that you wish to be or hope to be or really, really, really can be. It's going to require some change from you in the beginning. And it's something to be repeated or break cycles or stop whatever patterns that you continue to do. Let me get a bit of water. I got neighbors that like to take their time and listen instead of just get to their car and go on their mission. That happens. I think the term is called newbie or something. Newber. When somebody that's your next door neighbor is nosy as fuck. We got some newbers, or whatever it's called. I'm not quite sure, but there was this thing in this morning where I was thinking that every mission, every mission, wishing, and things that you've taken under construction, yourself most importantly, has something to unlock. It's just what it is. We all have a position to unlock. We all have something that's missing that we need to find it within ourselves and learn about so we can unlock the next level. Now, I know I'm not the only one to play Zelda. I'm not the only one to want to get a sword and a helmet and a shield, the gold one, right? And go through level after level to find it. And year after year, we can call levels. And and the whole time, he kept sending you. I guess they said God sends you a message, right? First it whispers, then it roars the universe, and then it was the gods that would send people their way, right? And they would say, I'm sending you. I sent you a helicopter. I sent you a canoe, and then you drowned because you didn't want to help yourself. There was something like that kind of a biblical story. God, why didn't you save me, bro? I sent you everything, bro. I sent you a canoe, a helicopter. You could have swam, all these things and then some is all part of the plan, and we ignore it. We ignore the one thing that's going to unlock us. We ignore the one thing that we need to learn, and we push that down and said do the hard stuff first because it's so much easier to do the easy stuff, right? It's so much easier to just keep eating ice cream. It's just so easy to fucking keep being stubborn. It's just so much easier to be ignorant, right? Ignorance is bliss because you don't know how powerful you are. You don't know what's on the other end. It's easy for you to just stay a miner instead of a diamond mine owner, all right? So I'm going to smoke this blunt this morning with you. I got the morning motivation, you know what I mean? But for the Gangster Nation, actually, I might save this for me and my girl. Let me just do the Roken Vape. Mention Roken Vapes. Mention Saints Addiction on Roken Vapes to get 15% off. Boom, baby, boom. This is the Pro Pen Saints Addiction cartridges sold separately. So, mm-hmm. Gotta get the warmness up. It gets sticky in those situations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blinking back at me blue. I turned off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blinking back at me blue. Yes, there we go. So You know, the unlocking is really tough because it's going to be the hardest part of your life. It's going to be unlocking your childhood, unlocking your fears, unlocking your bravery. It's a hard one to follow because we're all going to have something that we hesitate to do. We're all going to have something that makes us feel uncomfortable. And we're all going to have something that's a challenge for us. And this is why it is a challenge, because we know it's going to cost all of our time, all of our money, and all of our energy. We don't know if we want to commit that much resources to one thing. Coughing. And also the commitment to breaking the pattern, creating a new pattern, and being resilient is what it's all about. Yes, UPS guys coming in. Yeah, you just pulled right up, man. We're an interactive show around here, right? Damn, that thing's loud. Very loud. I don't know. I don't think he's on the right side of the street. Maybe it's for me. No? No, he's jogging it up. Why is he running? I don't think it's that important, but hey, gotta deliver your packages, get home. You want your time back, you might hustle harder so you can get your time back. And it always is something that's missing. It's always either you're missing love, you're missing jobs, you're missing information. And to unlock ourselves, right, to have the shield, to have the helmet, to have the sword, it's a progression. The whole thing is always about progression. I can only think to see that like it's memorization when you're in elementary school. It's mathematics and the rhythm. What do they call it? Writing arithmetic in my middle school, and then there's like a whole bunch of courses in high school and college that everyone else knows. Right? You go specifically to college to get specific on the knowledge, but other than that, everybody knows the same shit. Damn, that UPS driver's going up the hill like a motherfucker. Damn, he don't give a fuck. Whew, I'm waiting for the crash. Anyway, that kind of energy. And, when you have that kind of situation that you know that you are the one that can unlock your future, then you're empowered. Then you're like, okay, I'm gonna finish this college graduation. I'm gonna finish this and make partner. I'm gonna finish this position and grow in the company. I'm gonna do things to advance me in my position in this company or in my life. All of us are doing that. All of us are like, for the next 3 months, I'm just gonna do Pilates every day, get my ass tight, and he's gonna be jealous. Well, yeah, that's, I mean, partial a goal, but what you weren't unlocking was your superficiality. What you weren't unlocking was your self confidence, and what you weren't unlocking was your indifference. And indifference is a really cool tool and strategy and life hack to not be so consumed with the details, not be so consumed with your emotionality, and not be so consumed with the drama. We can't wait for something to just like light our fucking lives on fire. We can't wait till something burns something in our soul, and then all of a sudden we're full force, max force, Boeing 747, all the fucking the launch going. And yet little did we do to prepare for a radar or defensive mechanisms or setting up preemptive strikes before these things hit us. We can't wait to be full force, full loss of force, full loss of control, and just tee off on somebody, especially when we're angry and we feel like we're in the right to yell at someone, usually someone that's close to us, and someone's going to get all that power, all that max forza, all that max force, and all that energy is gone to naught because it could have gone to concentrating on something like a skill set, concentrating on your health, or better yet, what else is your weakness that you need to be focused on and working on instead of the drama, the distraction, and that peripheral vision of something that wasn't the main focus. It wasn't what you were here to do today. You were here to plow this field and plow it right and plow it straight. And Lord knows I tend to walk away from my field, often away from my orchard, often away from my trees, because I feel like the necessity to get deep and dirty with somebody, or waste time with some gossip, or distract myself from what I was supposed to be focused on. That's what it really comes down to. I knew I was supposed to be focused on something, but I can't wait to focus on nothing. And that's this objective here where it's like there's always something you have to work on. There's always something that your life is calling you to say, hey, this is your new hurdle, bro. You know, this is your shield, this is your sword, this is your helmet. You need to get past these things to be a grown up, to be an understander, to be someone that is right with themselves, not right with God, right with themselves. They get right with themselves because they know what's right and wrong in their internal compass. They know if they're doing the work that needs to be done to grow them as an individual, or maybe they're just ignorant because ignorance is bliss and they push it down. Like, I didn't know I was gaining 300 pounds. I didn't know why she broke up with me. I didn't examine why they fired me. We do little examination after the trauma and the event. There's not really a research and investigative report that's going to go and go, oh, well, they were traveling 35 miles per hour and the rear end connected with the other rear end and the insurance company. No, it's just going to be a lot of unanswered feelings and emotions and questions. There's going to be a lot of what the fuck happened. I'm not quite sure why it happened and why me, why them, why us, why now, and then all that questioning. There's no investigating. You know, it's just more curiosity than the work. And it would be like if this was FBI territory, if this was a murder scene, all of a sudden now it's like the fingerprints come out. Now it's a DNA test. Now it's full on paperwork. Okay. Did you interview your exes? Have you ever asked them why they broke up with you? Most of us go, why are you breaking up with me? That's emotionality. I mean, like the real thing, once it's all done and you're not emotional and you're more, years have gone by and you're detached and they found someone else, it's a perfect time to ask them, what could I do to improve? Lo and behold, the best question to ask is, what could I have done differently? No one's asking. You know what I mean? The mistake is made. I forgot your water at the Cheesecake Factory at your table. You know, what could have been done differently? I could have brought two waters. I could have not forgotten. I could have paid attention. And in that, now you're learning. Now you're not going to miss the next water order or the order beforehand because you're being mindful. Someone that's breaking up with their boyfriend, going through college exams, aren't paying rent, aren't exactly as mindful. And you would love to get in someone's mind and be like, oh, that's okay, you forgot my water, right? It's okay, you forgot my water. You know, I know you're going through a lot at home and school and your relationships. I'd be more understanding. But as a customer, we don't know any of that stuff. We don't know what you're going through or growing through. It's just what's going to happen. And that's it. You're going to make what next happens, or you're going to let it evolve into what you don't want to happen. And that's the lesson. It's like, oh shit, life is reaching us and trying to teach us something. It won't let us advance till we learn it. It's gonna fucking be very you know, down and out and fucking real till something goes down. Yeah, bro. You're gonna have to find the catalyst in you. You're gonna have to find the magic potion. I'm sorry, not sorry, but there's something that you have to unlock inside yourself so you can level up. And most of us don't want to know it. I'll share mine so you can know that it's true. Mine was maturity and self-control. At 44 years old, I'd love to sit here and tell you that I'm very mature. But, you know, when girls would be breaking up with me, I'd get very emotional and I wouldn't be able to control my anger like I wanted to. I was having tough time defusing myself from the outcome. I was so connected to my emotions and my emotionality and my passions that I became overly passionate. I would scream, I would cry, I don't throw things and I don't hit other people, but it wasn't like I was being nice about it, right? You know, there's some things that are being really cool and there's some things that you can be nice about it. And it wasn't like I was choosing the nice route, I was choosing the hard route. I was choosing to be hard headed about my situation, double down on stupidity and double down on ignorance because I didn't know what I didn't know. And what you don't know can hurt you. So I didn't know that I was becoming manic. I didn't know that I was throwing my emotionality out the window, and I didn't know that I was showing my true colors of being immature. And I mean, it takes a lot of maturity to sit here in this light. Thank you, sunshine, you know, to sit in the little bit of light that's coming out after the rain on this one note. But it's true. I didn't realize that I hadn't grown up. You know, I still ran from my problems. Anytime things happen, I would just go and travel, just be like, boom, gone, I'm gone. Yeah, and I know you know it's true too. And then I would do something emotional like overeat or over purchase or put myself further in debt than to do something like buckle down and not purchase something and let the emotionality go by and just wake up and everything was a lie. No, we'll make it real. We'll make the dragon real in our own story, in our own cave, in our own mind. We'll make that dragon so vicious, so unforgiving, and then we're scared of the dragon we created. And I'm telling you that it's not a dragon; it's a lesson. And the best part about looking at this lesson is like once I get past this lesson, once I get past this dragon, and a lot of people call it chasing the dragon because it's like this thing that keeps blowing fire on you and biting your tail, and it's not cool. Not for nothing, a lot of people want to slay dragons, right? We want to be dragon slayers and be like, I slayed the dragon that was my depression. And I can tell you that. Let me get this on. Oh, I already talking for too long. I had to slay my own dragons. Odds are you have some dragons to slay too. There's always something inside of us all that we're like, we haven't worked on it. And we know we need to talk about it. We need to talk about our childhoods. There we go. You know, that hard work, that shadow work that nobody wants to do. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. Bless you. Sounds like there's a man in the house. In my house. Um, neighbors are just too close, but these aren't easy lessons. It's not like going to school and they're like, okay, at the end of this 6 weeks, 8 week course, you're going to learn algebra, you're going to know about psychology. This isn't it. It's the course of you. It's University U. And going to University U is a hard course because it's going to come with stuff that you didn't know were your biological tendencies, genetic responses. You didn't know environmental tendencies and why you were shaped the way that you were shaped. And then add on some philosophy and go, what are my philosophies in life? Am I the type of person that takes anger to another level? Am I the type of person that can't even bubble up and I'm just monotone and I'm nothing? I have that opposite too. There's people that just can't get excited, can't get passionate, can't get any ignition in their lives. And I get it, man. It's like, this is your cross to bear. And it's like, okay, there's something missing in the cross. Maybe it's the way he squats the cross. Maybe it's the way he's carrying it. Maybe he shouldn't have positioned it on one shoulder. Maybe he should have put them on all two. I don't want to be crucified, and I sure as hell don't want to carry my own cross. But if I'm gonna fucking do it, I'm gonna do it right. If I'm wrong, then I want to be right. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to keep doubling down on wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't want to double down on my ignorance, and I was just like, this pains are real and they're cyclical and they're coming around and lasting for years of depression, years of heartbreak, years of loss. And you're just like, how long am I going to let my losses be my bosses? You know what I mean? How long am I going to let is like take a loss like a boss? How long am I going to let my education go on? This is almost like that one movie. Wasn't National Lampoons with your boy Ryan? The sun went back behind the clouds. Ryan Reynolds, where he's staying in college just so he can keep playing like Peter Pan and never graduate and sandbagging his grades and just so he can be like a 35-year-old freshman. Yeah, I mean, this is what it looks like when you're not maturing, when you're a failure to launch, when you aren't gravitating to your moment. And that's what it is. It's just a moment. It's not time for you to be motherly in middle school. That's not your moment. And it's not time for you to still be immature when you're elderly. That should have been a moment long time ago. And there's something that's missing in people's maturity rate or the maturation of the process that they were like, oh shit got hard, so I tapped out. And I'm like, how are you going to learn how to undo a headlock or a situation if every time it gets tough, that bow is so painful? Why don't you move your hips? Why don't you move your neck? Why don't you put a hand in between? There's so many ways to break every hold. Listen to me now. Every hold has a submission hold, has an exit. Every move has a counter move. You are like chess. You get to make a move, they get to make a move. No one gets to make any new moves. There are no, not, it's not like he grew a third arm out of his side and started wrestling you with the third arm or the third leg or my third leg. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like that. Everyone has a counter action, and to counteract yourself, right, to act upon something and pull action, or really do something different in your life, it's going to require an energy switch. It's literally going to require you to work on the thing that was missing. And that's what it is. And to Titanic, I'm thinking what was missing was the right kind of steel. They probably could have taken that iceberg, but the steel was brittle in the cold. They didn't have the right steel to take on a punch through the side lining. And it's like, oh shit. Okay, well, guess what? Next, the one I think the next big uh, Titanic was the Olympias. It's kind of the same uh, frame, if you will, same structure as the Titanic. I think it was called the Olympus, another big three steamer, big jetliner of the time. And not for nothing, they halted the construction of the Olympus because they noticed what was happening in the Titanic. Now, you could be the stupid person that just ignored the Titanic, 3,000 souls dying in the North Atlantic, freezing to death, or you could be the guy that goes, wait a minute, I need to be paying attention. I need to study what just happened so it doesn't happen to me. And this is why I'm telling you, there's something to be said for the work that needs to be done as the maturation process of who you are. And I don't know what it is because we're all different, but each one of us might have to work on our relationship with our mother or father, might have to work on our relationships with ourselves. That's all day, every day. That's not a might, that's a must. And then also go into some of those dark corners. I mean, open that closet. Do skeletons pile out, or are they scared and you already had them sorted? Me personally, I already had them sorted. I don't mind opening up the closet, even on public, even on live, and being like, look at all the bones that I sorted. It helps me. There's another sneeze. What's going on back here? It's part of it. It's part of the plan for me to learn those skeletons intimately. Now, mind you, the whole house is filled. There's the living room, which gets most of the work. Sometimes there's the front lawn that needs, every weekend or so. I'm talking about that mental mind. You don't want to live in the attic. It's dusty up there. There's spiders up there. It's dark. But I promise you, that's the level to get up in. That's the one room that needs to be cleaned and sorted. I know most people's attics covered in spider webs, covered in dirt, covered in mistakes. And I'm like, good. That's the work that needs to be done. Underneath all that messiness, there's some work that needs to be done. And that's why we have to have this conversation. It's just like, it's that little thing, that one little thing that you could have put more minutes on instead of sitting there with the Netflix and chill. Have you ever turned it off and just had a conversation with your girl? Probably not. And there's some conversations that need to be had before sex and after sex, right? And most people aren't talking about that. Are you talking about your STDs before you have the sex? Probably not. Are you talking about your responsibilities before you have the sex? Probably not. And in that moment, you're making assumptions for the rest of your life. You're assuming that this person's going to co parent with you or be a parent at all. Maybe they kill your child, maybe they keep your child. Wow, these are things that you might want to have a decent conversation with this person. And even then, what they say might not hold true, so you got to do your research and get involved too. Oh, you've already had three abortions. You killed the last three babies inside of you. Then my child was the fourth. Oh, you already have two children and you're divorced and you're a little bit psychotic. I guess there goes my other child, right? Oh, I was 17. She was only 15 and we were way too young and I made that decision. I regret that decision. These things were my way of learning, and they were heavily paid for the price. Is like, when the guy was stealing my products from me in my own shop, the landlord stole from me, stole my great aunt's ashes, wanted to steal my watch, stole a bunch of shit that was really important to me. But most importantly, he called it tuition. He's like, you're paying your tuition. Don't call it stealing. Call it tuition because you're paying for it. Somehow, some way, there was a lesson. It's painful as fuck. And I don't want you to lose the pain and the time and the energy for the lesson. I want you to be able to be like, okay, I already paid for this meal. I got my receipt. Shut up, bitch. Here's my receipt. I ate the meal and now I'm processing this meal due diligently. I'm in a process. Why am I in prison? Why am I in South Korean prison? Why did I write the book Endure? Turns out I needed to learn self control. I needed to know that no means no. And it really means it sometimes, not just be like in a joking kind of way, but like, no, you shouldn't really do that. And I have a tough time with no. That was a tough lesson to learn, my friends. Lessons in fear, lessons in no, and no means no. That sometimes means it. I'm not in California, I'm not in Nevada, I'm not in Colorado, I'm not in all these states that it was legal to smoke. I'm in South Korea and they had different rules. And I was like, okay, lesson learned. From here on out, Marky Saint's going to research the countries that he travels to. From here on out, Marky Saint's going to interview the women that he falls in love with. From here on out, Marky Saint's going to try it before he dismisses it. And these are lessons I had to learn on my own. So don't knock it till you try it has been a big one, you know. Inspect what you expect has been a big one. And face the fear. Open that fucking closet because your lessons are in there. You just been passing it by, let it in the slick, being lazy, and you know that attic needs work. You and I both know our attics need work, and we haven't worked on them very well. And they're getting dusty. And as soon as we clean it, we become less rusty. We become less susceptible to people that are going to manipulate us, narcissists or fake love. We're going to be less susceptible to external distractions and dramas and people wanting to start fires around you. That's their problems, not my circus, not my monkeys. And the only monkey in the circus that I have to focus on is me. I'm the one. This is the monkey, and this is my parade. And I want to make sure that I'm willing and able to take it on every day. I'm willing to get messy. I'm willing to get dirty, and I'm willing to get into the muck because I know underneath all of this is opportunity. As soon as I get self control, I have self control in my relationships. Soon as I get perspective in my business dealings, in my transactions. As soon as I'm right with myself, now all of a sudden I'm a better salesman, a better father, a better husband. All the things that I want to be are inside of me. I just have to develop it. And I've been worried about doing it because, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work being a man. It's a lot of work to, conquer things inside of yourself. There's a lot of work to be said and done for all the things that we've said and done. So in my world, my runny nose and raining days, and I'm about to leave here shortly, I still have lessons that I'm like, they're not like algebra and they're not like college. They're life lessons, and I need to go in there and look and learn them. I'm not going to graduate. I can graduate from college, but I'm not going to twice, but I'm not going to graduate unless I maturate and learn these things. And all of us are not above learning ourselves, our environment, and our reactions. It all should be studied. Like I said, FBI stress test, bro. You need to know what's going on with you. And that's all it was this morning. That's the something that's missing. There was something. Well, what did we learn today, kids? Type shit. It was like, oh, we learned math, we learned science, we learned history. No, today we learned about ourselves. We learned about self-reliance, right? We learned about peaceful resistance. We learned about self control. And unfortunately, they're not teaching that in school. But that's the reason I reach, preach, and teach every morning from this channel, Saints Addiction channel, the Las Vegas original, is because it's coming from you for free. I'm sure you can go to, what was the one that we used to go to? The guy did an amazing job. I can't remember his name, Zahab or something. He was a Middle Eastern dude who set up free schooling for his cousin, his nephew, his niece, because she wanted to learn math. And he was like, I can put this all online for free and you can learn anything. Well, it's all online for free and you can learn anything. It's the choice. That's something you're going to work on, that something, and that's going to be hard because it's like there's always somebody like, oh, I want to play piano, oh, I want to speak Spanish, oh, I want to lose weight. Well, those lessons are waiting for you to learn them. It took me almost fucking 44 years, 42 years to learn about fasting and not having sugars and learning my body. 44 years. You thought I would have had it by 20, but I didn't. And you thought I would have been emotionally mature, but I wasn't. And you thought I would have learned all the lessons, but that's all life is lessons. The moment you die is the moment you don't need to learn, and that's just it. So I'm giving out this message to you for free. I hope it reaches you, in peace. Always say peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But the other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's exactly where I'll be. That's where all my lessons are. That's where all my growth is, and that's where all my happiness is. And I want to have the most happiness I can get out of this life, and I hope you do too. So, peace and love. And as always, Chigaton. I'll see you. You'll be subscribing, hopefully, after I donated all my time and I started to smoke in my prime. Mention Saints Addiction at Roken Vapes. Get 15% off. I'm out. Peace and love.